Good morning, dear students. Today's topic for the discussion is the next characteristic feature of the living organisms. That is nothing but the reproduction. What is the meaning of reproduction? So, reproduction is a likewise character of living organisms. This reproduction is a likewise characteristics of or characteristic feature of living organisms. Living organisms. So what is reproduction then? So it is a characteristic feature of the living organisms only. Then what is the meaning of living reproduction means? That is, so a reproduction is a process of process of production of offsprings. Production of offsprings means their progeny. Offspring are the progeny, nothing but in Kannada we can say that one santati. Means here offspring means the childs or the children being produced. So the production of offspring are the progeny which possess such progeny produced are the offsprings produced which possess characteristic features. They possess characteristic features. These features are which are these characteristic features which are more or less similar to that of their parents, to their parents only, to their parents. So such a process of production of the offsprings, those offsprings are more or less similar to their parents. Such process is called as reproduction. So what do you mean by reproduction here? That is in multicellular organisms. Reproduction means particularly, so this one is applies to multicellular organisms. In multicellular organisms. So in that multicellular organism, reproduction means it is a process of production of the offsprings. Those offsprings are more or less similar to their parents. Say for example, the human baby which look like human only. And baby elephant will not look like any other organism, but it look like elephant only. So why I am giving this example means offspring produced will more or less similar to their parents only. Here the human baby will be similar to their parents only. Elephant baby will be similar to that parent elephant only. Means there will be a similarity in the characteristic features of that offsprings with their parents. Such a process of production of offspring is called as reproduction. So here the reproduction is invariably and implicitly it refers to. So here reproduction in multicellular organisms, refers to sexual mode of reproduction or sexual reproduction In sexual reproduction only, there will be a production of the offsprings which are more or less similar to their parents. Right? So as we have taken example of here human baby and then the baby elephant, how those babies are produced or offsprings are produced? By the fusion of male and female gametes. So where the fusion of male and female gametes takes place, that is called as a sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. So this is not only the type of reproduction present in the organisms, there are other types of reproduction methods are also available that are nothing but the asexual reproduction which takes place in the various other organisms. Okay. Now note down these points. We will discuss the asexual mode of reproduction after this. See, these are the asexual means of reproduction that can be seen in various organisms. So previously we have discussed regarding the sexual mode of reproduction, but that is not the only mode of reproduction present in the living organisms. Organisms do reproduce by asexual means also. So what is that asexual methods of reproduction means? So here the asexual method of reproduction include spore production, budding, true regeneration, fragmentation. What do you mean by spore formation? In which organisms it can be seen? See here, the example of the organisms which produces spores means here, that is fungi. So many fungi reproduce by production of millions of spores. They do release or produce millions of spores. These spores, when they get the favorable conditions, environmental conditions like temperature or the moisture, then they grow as a new fungi. Such a mode of reproduction is asexual one, and here the reproduction takes place by the production of structures called as spores. So now this is what the diagram of the fungi, and there is a production of tiny particles, what they are called as spores. This is what a mode of asexual reproduction in fungi. The one asexual method is production of the spores. The next one is budding. Here, what do you mean by budding here means? There will be a formation of the bud or tiny projection from the body of an organism. When it detaches from the parental body, it will grow as a new organism. Example here, that is yeast and hydra. In yeast and hydra, what happens? Reproduction takes place by budding method. So this is what the diagram, where you can see there will be a development of tiny new body or the projection. Later it detaches and grow as a new organism. Such a method is called as budding. And the example of other organisms in which budding can be seen is yeast and hydra. Is that clear, guys? Next is true regeneration. See, this can be seen in the example of the organism which is called as planaria. Remember, this one is the most important, and many times it's asked in NEET and CET examination. A good example for the true regeneration is planaria. Remember that name. Planaria exhibit or possess true regeneration. What do you mean by true regeneration then? See, this is what the planaria is. Okay, and this is the another image which shows true regeneration. Means, for example, see, this is what the planaria. If it is cut or divided into fragments, the each fragment produced will generate the remaining or the last part of its body and grow as a new planaria or the new individual of that organism. A fragment of the organism is capable of growing or developing last parts. See this fragment, for example this fragment is separated, so it has lost the remaining parts, this part and this part, right? Then it will develop those last parts and become a new individual. Such a process is called as true regeneration. True regeneration capacity is present in example called as planaria that exhibit true regeneration. The high capacity of true regeneration is present in planaria. Okay, so that is what the diagram that is representing true regeneration process. See here, no need of spore production, no need of budding, no need of sexual reproduction or the fusion of male and female gametes. Just a cut of or the formation of a fragment of the body, that fragment will grow as a new individual. If the same facility or the same feature is present in human beings, means for example if you cut your finger, it will become a new human individual. So here is Pradeep. If I cut my finger and it will develop as one more Pradeep. That is what called as true regeneration. Means if I cut my finger, if that from the finger remaining part of the body grows, then one more human individual will develop. That process is called as the true regeneration. But this property is not present in human beings. It is not possible in humans. The true regeneration is possible in lower organism, that is planaria. Understood, guys? Okay. The next method is fragmentation. What do you mean by fragmentation? Here the fragmentation name itself indicates here a body of an individual is divided into fragments and that fragments will develop as that represent a new individual. So here it can be seen in examples called as filamentous algae, okay, and along with that one it can be seen in Protonema of Moses. So this is what the filamentous algae, and the next one is Protonema of Moses. So these two examples or these two organisms, they do reproduce by fragmentation. Means when their body is divided into fragment, the fragment will develop as, or that will be considered as a new individual, or that forms a new algae or the new Protonema or new moss. So such a method of reproduction is called as fragmentation. Understood? So these are the various modes of asexual reproduction. First one is production of spores, next is budding, next is true regeneration, and next is fragmentation. Any doubt in this, guys? By seeing all these examples, if you consider reproduction is a inclusive property of living organisms, then we have some objections. What are those objections? But in unicellular organisms, like what are the example for the unicellular organisms here? Unicellular organisms like it may be bacteria, it may be amoeba, right? So, or it may be the Euglena, What happens here? In this unicellular organism, okay, cell division itself is a growth as well as the reproduction. So in unicellular organisms, what happens here? Reproduction is synonymous with cell division. Say for example, this is an unicellular organism. Say for example, this is an amoeba. Okay. Then what happens? This amoeba undergoes division, and there will be a formation of two daughter cells. Those daughter cells will represent the new amoebas. Means one cell has become two. There is the increase in the number of cell. That is due to the process called as cell division. That resulted in the formation of two daughter cells. Then reproduction is here synonymous with cell division. Cell division itself is the reproduction, and increase in the number of cell is that is what a character, one character of the growth or criteria of the growth. So cell division causes growth, or that leads to growth, and cell division leads to reproduction. So in unicellular organism, we are not sure, okay, about using the terms growth, cell division, growth and then the cell division. So in unicellular organisms, we are not sure. So we are not sure about using terms growth and reproduction. Why? Because here growth itself is a reproduction itself is a growth, and cell division itself results in the reproduction or the growth. So only we are not sure about using the terms growth as well as the reproduction in unicellular organism. So how do unicellular organism reproduce? Means by cell division. This is one case. If you look at the other organisms, similarly, but there are so many organisms. There are so many organisms are there which do not. So those organisms do not reproduce. So what those organisms are? Example, here the example: infertile human couples. Next, the sterile mules. Mules are sterile only. Next, sterile worker bees, etc. See, human couples who are not able to produce their own child, ಅಂದರೆ ದಂಪತಿಗಳು, ಮನುಷ್ಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಗಂಡ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. Can we call that couple as a non-living then? Because we know that reproduction is an inclusive property of living organisms. But what about these couples? They are not able to produce their own child. Then such human beings are non-living? No, right? Sterile mule. Mules are the interspecific breeds. The mule is produced by crossing donkey with the horse. Then such a breed is called as mule. These mules are sterile. They are not able to produce their offspring. Similarly, the worker bees. in a honeycomb, ಜೇನುಗೂಡು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So in the three categories of honeybees will be there. Queen and the males are called as drones, and other females which are not able to produce or lay the egg are called as worker bees. Those worker bees, as they are not able to produce the egg, so they are sterile. Means no reproduction takes place in the worker bees, no reproduction takes place in the sterile mules, no reproduction occurs in the infertile human couples. But we considered reproduction as an inclusive property of living organism. Reproduction ಒಂದು ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ದೆನ್ ಇವು ಕೂಡ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ದ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್, ಮೇಕ್ ಎ ನೋಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್. ಲೇಟರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್. So by seeing these examples, we got to know that one, that is, reproduction cannot be the inclusive property of living organisms. So hence, by looking at these examples, reproduction cannot be inclusive property of living organisms, But no non-living organism is capable of reproducing. Even though we consider that fact, okay, reproduction cannot be the inclusive property of living organisms. Of course, no non-living thing is capable of reproducing or self-replicating. What is the meaning of this one? No non-living thing is capable of reproducing or self-replicating. Here is a chalk piece. If you leave this chalk piece as it is for thousands of years also, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ 1000 years, okay, let's say one day or few days, if you see the same chalk tomorrow, means it will be one in number only, it will not become two unless someone breaks it. So this is a non-living thing. If you leave it as it is for how many years also, it will be the single only. It is not going to get replicated, or no same other chalk will be produced by it. Why? Because it is non-living. It is not having any property of reproduction or self-replication. So by considering this fact, then we can call reproduction is a feature of living organism, or the characteristic feature of living organism, but it is not an inclusive property of living organism. Means not all the living organisms are capable of producing their offsprings. As we have seen some examples, they are not able to produce offsprings even though they are the living organisms. But we also know the fact that one, no non-living thing is capable of reproducing or self-replicating. So reproduction is a property of living organism, but not an inclusive property of the living organisms. Is it clear, guys? So this is enough for today's class, and regarding the other characteristic feature of living organisms, we will discuss in the next class. Thank you, guys.